morning everybody. Today in maths and the rest of this week we're going to be looking at number facts. We're going to explore number facts to 10 today using our 10 frame, but it is also really important that we know all of the different ways of making numbers, all the ways of making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, because all of those small number facts that we work out help us all the time to work out facts with much bigger numbers. So they're really important, and I want all of the year twos to have those calculations at their fingertips. Okay, so we're going to explore today using the 10 frame the different ways of making 10 first of all. So here, if I put a little story with this to help put it into context, if we imagine that on my 10 frame here I've got 10 juicy apples. Okay, we have to use our imagination because I know they're blue. But we've got 10 juicy apples here, okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we've got no bad apples, okay? So the good part of 10 is the 10, and then 0 is the bad part. So I'm going to put on here the first fact that we've made, which is 10 add 0 equals 10. Now what we do know is that adding can be done in any order. So because we know that the 10 part and the 0 part still make 10 altogether, we know that that can be the other way round because adding can be done in any order. So I've got two facts now. I know that 0 add 10 also equals 10. But then we also know some subtraction facts because we know that 10 and 0 is 10. Because if I've got 10 good apples here and I take away none of those apples, then how many are going to be left? There's still going to be 10, isn't there? So because I know that 10 and 0, those two parts, make 10 altogether, if I've got the 10 and I take the 0 away, I'm still going to have the 10 apples. So I'm going to put on here 10 take away 0 equals 10. But then we've got another part we can take away. I've taken away the 0 part, so what other part is there to take away? Well, there's the 10 part, isn't there? So I've got my 10 apples, and I'm going to take away my 10 good apples. So how many apples have I got left? I've got none. So we can also do 10 take away 10 equals 0, okay? So just because we know that 10 and 0 equals 10, we know 4 different number facts, okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn one of these over like this. So now I've got one bad apple, okay? But I've still got here 9 good apples, okay? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 1 bad apple means that I've still got 10 altogether, but my good apple part is now 9, and I've got a 1 part as well as 1 bad apple, okay? So I'm going to put on here, I've got 9 good apples, plus I've got 1 bad apple, and that equals 10 altogether. But then we also know that adding can be done in any order. So I've done 9 good apples plus 1 bad apple, but I could do that the other way round. So I could do 1 bad apple, add the 9 good apples. So now I've got 2 addition facts there, like this, okay? But now I also know some subtraction facts, don't I? Because we know that subtraction is the opposite of adding, and if I know that I've got a 9 part and a 1 part that equals 10, that's going to really help me. So if I've got 10 and I take away the bad apple, the 1 part, that's going to leave me with the 9 part, the 9 good apples. Okay, so I'm going to write on here 10 take away 1 equals 9. What other part could I take away? So the whole is 10. I've taken away the 1 part and that left me with 9 good apples. What else could I take away? You're right, I could take away the 9 good apples and that leaves me with the 1 bad apple, doesn't it? Okay, so the first time I took away the 1 part. This time I'm taking away the 9 part, and that leaves me with 1 bad apple. So I'm going to put on here, started off with the 10 apples, I took away the 9 good apples, and that left me with 1 bad apple. So again, because we know that 9 and 1 equals 10 altogether, and they're 2 parts that make 10, it's actually given us another 4 number facts just for 1 and 9, hasn't it? So I'm going to see if we can find some more now. So I'm going to turn over another one on my 10 frame. So now I've got 2 bad apples, okay, and that leaves me with these good apples here, 2, 4, 6, 8. So now I've got 2 and 8 that is making 10 altogether. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, okay? But this time I've got an 8 part and a 2 part that's equaling 10, okay? So I've got 8 and I've got 2, and it can be done either way round again. So I've got 8 and I've got 2, or I could do 2, add 8, but altogether it's still the same. I've still got 10 apples altogether. So this time, 2 bad apples, add 8 good apples, still equals 10. And once again, because we know those 2 addition facts, we're also going to know 2 subtraction facts, because we know that these 2 parts make 10. So if we take one of those parts away, it's going to leave us with the other part. So here I've got 8, add 2. So if I take away the 2 part, it's going to leave me with the 8 part, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to write that down. So I started off with 10 apples. I took away the 2 bad apples, and that left me with 8, okay? But then I could do it another way as well, couldn't I? Because I know I've got an 8 part and a 2 part, I've taken away the 2 part, but what other part can I take away from 10? Well, we've also got the 8, haven't we? So now I'm going to take away the 8 part from 10, and that leaves me with the 2 part. So 10, take away the 8 part, leaves me with the 2 part. Or you could say I've got 10 apples, I take away the 8 nice juicy good apples, and that left me with 2 bad apples. I'm going to write that down on here. So 10 apples, take away the 8 lovely juicy good apples, and that leaves me with the 2 bad apples. Okay, then I can keep going. There's other ways of making 10 as well. So if I turn another one over, I've now got 3 red and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue, but all together those 2 parts make the whole of my 10 frame, which is 10 altogether. So now I've got 7 good apples, but I've got 3 bad apples. Okay, so I've got a 7 part plus a 3 part, and that equals 10 altogether. And then we know that all these sums that we have found still work out the other way round. So I'm going to put 3 add 7 also equals 10. Would you agree? Look, the 3 part and the 7 part equals 10, and then the 7 part and the 3 part still equals 10. We haven't changed anything, have we? Apart from swapping the numbers around. Right, so let's have a look then at our subtraction again. Okay, so I've got a 7 part and a 3 part, my 7 good apples and my 3 bad apples. So what I'm going to do now, then out of my 10, I'm going to take away those 3 bad apples, that 3 part, and that's left me with the 7 part. So 10, take away the 3 part, leaves me with the 7 part. So I'm going to write that down on here. So 10 apples, take away 3 horrible bad apples, leaves me with 7 good apples. Or there's another part we could take away. If we've taken away the 3 part, what other part could I take away? I wonder. Well, you're quite right, it's the 7 part this time. Okay, because they're the 2 parts that we have to make 10 this time. So let's see how I can cover those up. So if I take away that 7 part, it's going to leave us with the 3 bad apples this time, isn't it? So the fact that we found out now is 10 take away 7 equals 3. Okay, so we found out 4 different ways. There are other ways on your 10 frame of making 10, so that, and lots more obviously subtraction facts that you can find with that. So I wonder if on the sheets that I've made for you, if you could investigate the different ways of making 10 for me and writing down all of the addition and subtraction facts that go with it. But as I said, children, it's really important that we don't just know all the ways to make 10. It's important to know 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all at our fingertips. So I've also given you some other 10 frames that I've drawn for you to colour in and see if you can find all the different ways of making those numbers as well. And I really look forward to seeing your investigating in your portfolios. Okay, take care everybody, bye bye.